Good morning, everybody, and I guess happy Easter with everything that's going on. Today it's going to be a little bit differently. I'm Stephen Willis. I run the Positively Ole Miss channel and the Willis Digital Media channel. And if you're interested in what's going on, subscribe to the Willis Digital Media. Like I said, we were going to do different type stuff that's not just all Ole Miss. Well, this is like the first level of that. Um, let's see. Going back in time, you're thinking about it and everything that's going on. This is going to be a story about my diagnosis and moving forward with acoustic neuroma, and how eventually that changed my life, that changed the way I perceive things, and that changes the way I act towards certain types of people, to be honest. It Make no mistake, it is a life-altering surgery. People will tell you it's no big deal, but it really kind of is. And it's not just the fact that I'm deaf in my right ear and I have tinnitus and everything, but the whole lead up to the operation, delving into your own sense of mortality, will change the way that you perceive things, and it'll also change what you are willing to put up with. I had a little over 3 centimeter acoustic neuroma right there. And it was pressing on my brainstem. So, I was a matter of probably a year or two of undiagnosed away from just dying in my sleep, or in the middle of the day, just stopping breathing. That's kind of how close that probably was. But this first part, we're going to go diagnosis to surgery. The second part, we are going to go surgery to immediate aftermath. And the third part is going to be now. The third part is going to be uplifting. The third part is going to show exactly how you can make it through all this and what it'll look like. Like I said, I hope this just helps somebody hearing the experiences of somebody else that has gone through this as well. That's honestly all I'm going for here, and I just want to put it on YouTube and Twitter just for posterity, honestly, because it's not a life ender. It's a major surgery, and your life will change in ways as you don't even expect how. So I'm sorry you got the diagnosis. I'm sorry you're having to go through that. But you can make it through the other side. I'm living proof of that. It can change you in all the right ways if you allow it to. But it's hard. Basically, I was diagnosed in 2019. Basically March of 2019. So almost 2 years exactly to the date. Diagnosed. And what happened was I was at work, and it came back that through an MRI, or I was at work and I started seeing a little spot in my eye, and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then it felt like I went to sleep and woke, like I went to sleep behind the wheel. And then I woke up and it was like, what's going on? So I was like, I'm just going to pull in right here to this Dairy Queen. And I was, getting myself a Blizzard, and kind of rebound a little bit. And I couldn't say chocolate chip cookie dough Blizzard. I just couldn't. Not at all. And then that really freaked me out. And I called my wife, and I couldn't say the name of the town we lived in or the town next to it. I literally had to describe it as I was in the town next to the town we live in, because I couldn't say the proper name. So basically, that really freaked me out. So I went to the emergency room, which they did a whole workup for stroke on me. As you kind of become, let's just say you go to the front of the line when you come in and you say it's stroke. And they did CAT scans and MRIs and all sorts of things on me, just trying to figure out what happened. And the MRI is where they noticed the brain tumor. And the doctor there said, you need to go to Vanderbilt. Now, if they won't see you, if there's any difficulty, you need to basically go to the emergency room there, fake an illness, and hope they'll see you. Now, they saw me, but I mean, that's how serious it was. The doctor at Stonecrest was telling me basically to do what I had to do to get into Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt's one of the top 5 in the country at dealing with this. But they saw me anyway. That I was able to get in, and but the appointment to go in to see them was 3 weeks after my TIA. So my mind's just racing. All I knew was brain tumor and vestibular schwannoma, which is another word for acoustic neuroma. And, all you start researching everything. And while I was going through that, Kelly Stafford, Matt Stafford's wife, was just diagnosed. So one of my follows was her, because she was about to go through this about 2 months before I was. So every step. And then can't remember her name, but Sarah on Twitter was a huge resource. She went through it as well. She went through a much more severe version than me, but she went through it as well. So those were kind of 2 avenues for me to look at, and what can I expect? There were videos made, but it was like, I don't know, it was kind of too well produced, for lack of a better word. And you take those 3 weeks and you start delving into some really dark aspects. I mean, your first little taste of dealing with your own mortality is the doctor telling you have a 3-centimeter brain tumor in your head, not really knowing what to expect next, and not knowing about the surgery, not knowing about anything. So I went and saw Dr. Haynes and Dr. Thompson. That's because I had 2 surgeons. Yeah, that's what you need to know. There's 2 of them for this. And they started looking over me and told me I was a great candidate for surgery. And it was one of those things like, no shit, But they were really nice and they were really professional. But, with doctors, everything is worst case. They just want to prepare you for the worst, over deliver and under promise is basically their thing. But they came out of that positive enough, and I felt a little bit better after that. But I didn't really hear the diagnosis. There's certain things about this going into that surgery that you just will not hear. You will not understand. It's like your body will not let you, because it was a serious conversation that was freaking my wife out, freaking my mother-in-law out. And I missed like whole paragraphs of the diagnosis. Because I'm naturally a very positive and very hopeful person. That's just what I am. That's how I was made. That's how I was going into this with. So if you are a naturally cynical person, if you are a person that is glass half empty on everything, those meetings will absolutely destroy you. So you have to have hope. You have to be positive. You need to go in there and understand that your mindset is going to be very key to what's going on. Because they're going to talk. It's going to be pretty dark. Whenever they're given the diagnosis, and you need to understand that it just doesn't matter. I have an 18-hour surgery coming up, but I'm just not going to pay attention to that. Not at all. And you're just sitting there. And so we started planning a cruise. Basically, if the worst happens during the surgery, there's, one more memory for the whole family. So we ended up going on a cruise like 3 weeks before my operation. So that would keep my mind busy of stuff that I wanted to do, stuff that I wanted to see, because it was a you will go to pretty dark places. I mean, there's no helping that. I mean, and honestly, I recommend going to those dark places. Don't stay there, but you need to be real of what's going on. Like, I wrote my wife basically a farewell letter, um, to only be opened after my surgery if something went wrong. Um, I was sure to tell her every day that I loved her, stuff like that. Because I mean, the acoustic neuroma surgery, and they probably won't tell you this at diagnosis, but they'll surely tell you this after it. It's a 10 out of 10 surgery, a transplant level surgery. There's a lot of nerves and a lot of fine tuning that they have to go around, and it's going to affect your body in weird ways. And we'll cover that in the immediate recovery, because I mean, some days you can sleep 20 hours, and then all of a sudden, just like a snap of a finger, you're waking up every 2 hours. So be prepared for that. But when it comes to this surgery, I would recommend definitely go in with a positive mindset. If you're not positive, it'll eat you alive. If you're a glass half empty person, it will be really tough on you because of what it means. Especially if you're a younger person, coming to grips with your own mortality. I mean, that's a pretty hard step. It was for me anyway. But the main thing that you need to do is maximize the time before the surgery. Now, the surgery is probably going to be fine. It's like in the 90% of being fine, but it's a very serious surgery. You need to maximize that pre-op time. Spend it with your family. Tell them you love them. Do all that stuff. Just in case. You don't want to be that one that something went wrong and then just, you don't want to end like the end of the Fellowship of the Ring of the Lord of the Rings movies. You want to take care of your business. Make sure you're ready to go, because as you will see in the next video that I'm going to do next Sunday, the immediate aftermath of the surgery, that's kind of a bear. If you have a real acoustic neuroma, it's kind of a bear. I mean, it involves a walker and everything else. It's a big boy. But I just wanted to basically take a few minutes to give you a little perspective of what to do. Expect a little bit of time also between the diagnosis and the surgery. I guess I got diagnosed in April. Well, I mean, I saw the Vandy doctors in April. My surgery wasn't until July. So expect some time. Like I said, it's really dark. It's really a glass half empty situation. If you're like that, it's going to be difficult. But as you can see now, I'm fine now. But it's kind of a booger in the beginning. So it's always good to prepare for that. And again, I'm Stephen Willis. I'm going to do this next Sunday and the Sunday after that. Next Sunday will be the surgery and the immediate aftermath, and then the final video will be, coming through. What did I learn? Where did my perspectives change? And that's a pretty good situation. We've gone on close to 15 minutes, so we'll pick that up next week. But thank you all for tuning into this, and I genuinely hope this helps somebody. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you next week.